you're going to try to either create wealth or hold your wealth. If you want to hold your wealth, you buy $1 billion worth of property. If you want to create wealth, you borrow $1 billion and you buy $1 billion of property, and you start with $1 million of equity. A sliver of equity, and what you're doing is you're going short the currency and you're going long the property. So if I told you, let's go to Argentina. If I told you in Argentina the peso is going to go from 1 peso to the dollar, to 5 pesos to the dollar, to 10 pesos to the dollar, to 20 pesos to the dollar, to 40, to 80, to 100, the black market rate right now is 210 pesos to the dollar, 220. If I told you it was going to collapse from 1 to 220, and you had 20 years of notice, what's your best strategy? Take your million pesos, convert it to dollars, and you're going to have 220 million pesos in 20 years. You're going to look rich. Better strategy is borrow 1 million pesos, convert it to dollars.
Wow.
Best strategy would be mortgage your entire company in pesos, sell equity in your company in pesos, convert it all to dollars, and then get the dollars out of the country. Because if they're in the country, if the million pesos is converted to dollars in a bank in Argentina, then the government will basically pass a law, force your dollars to be converted back into pesos, devalue them. And I happen to have some experience with that because I actually had $1 million in Argentina during the last currency collapse. They converted it to pesos, they devalued it 10 to 1. A day later, I'd lost 90% of my money. Short the currency which is collapsing, go long property, and then get the property out of the country. Because the property in the country is also going to devalue. The property is valued based upon the stream of cash flows, right? If the building has got a rentor and it's got a lease, and the lease is capped at CPI or denominated in local currency, when the currency collapses, the value of the rental income also collapses. So wouldn't it be great if I could buy a virtual building in Argentina using borrowed pesos, and then what if I could spirit the building out of the country and rent it to people in London or New York City? That's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is digital property that you can teleport anywhere in space instantly, and it's also perfected property with the lowest maintenance cost. You know, you don't have the property tax you have on a building. You don't have to repaint the thing every 10 years. You don't have to worry about leaks in the roof. If I could buy $1 billion worth of property and it was in cyberspace, and if you couldn't make any more of it, if I capped it at 21 million city blocks in cyberspace, and if I could hold it for 1,000 years, I might have a better idea than buying a city block in Manhattan or a building in London or even a company. And it's a lot better idea than buying 30,000 pounds worth of gold. Why? Because real estate developers are going to create more buildings, gold miners are going to create more gold, mayors are going to pass a property tax, and they're going to put some kind of enjoinder or some kind of restriction on your rents. Rent control your building. Something, you know, acts of God are going to create earthquakes and floods and lightning strikes, and none of that stuff's happening in cyberspace. So